Hashem. Good evening, everyone. Good to see you here in our Zohar class. B'ezrat Hashem, today's topic has to do with the month that we are in, the month of Elul. In the month of Elul, one of the customs is to check the mezuzot in our house. And the reason we do it in the month of Elul is a preparation to Rosh Hashanah, to the holy day of Rosh Hashanah, the beginning of the year. And the reason we have to prepare ourselves to that day, because Rosh Hashanah, we can say it's the most important day in the year. Because anything we will do on Rosh Hashanah, those 2 days of Rosh Hashanah, will affect the whole year. To the positive and Chas v'Shalom to the opposite. That's why in Rosh Hashanah we have to make sure we get into Rosh Hashanah in a good mood, happy, Chas v'Shalom, not be angry. If you're angry 1 second in Rosh Hashanah, can ruin a whole month during the year. So we have to be extra positive. And to be extra positive, we have to prepare ourselves to this positivity. And that we do by one of the things, to check our mezuzot. That's some of the Hasidim, the very strict people in Judaism. They will check their mezuzot every year in the month of Elul. Even though that the halacha states that we have to check it only every 3.5 years. That's the obligation. But some Hasidim, some people that are very strict, they will do it every year. And as I said, the reason why they do it every year, because they want to come into Rosh Hashanah clean. I want to speak today a little bit about the mystical perspective of the mezuzah. What's the power of the mezuzah? What the mezuzah does? How it helps? How important it is to have a mezuzah in the house? What doors we need to put mezuzah? And how it's affect our life here. Shalom Aleichem. B'chavod, you can come. How it affects our life here in this world, in the house, affects our children. What happens if the mezuzah is not good? How can we know that the mezuzah is not good? And B'ezrat Hashem, you're going to have a lot of deep information, a lot of stories, and some new ideas that we never heard. And everything, I took it basically mostly from the Zohar Kadosh, from Kabbalah, from Torah, from Gemara, from all the sources. B'ezrat Hashem. So I want to start the class with the Zohar. If you realize this, mezuzah has to be written on a cloth, on a leather. The two paragraphs that are written in the mezuzah, it's the Shema Yisrael, Ve'ahavta et Hashem Elokecha, what we read every day, twice a day, and the other parasha of Ve'aya im Shamoah Tishmeu. This is another paragraph that we read when we say the Shema Yisrael. So basically the Shema Yisrael prayer is written in the mezuzah. And there's a lot of laws how to write the mezuzah. Just to give you an idea, to understand what's inside the mezuzah. First of all, the mezuzah has to be on a leather. This leather has to be mesurtat, has certain lines. And those lines has to be, it's not a regular line. It's a line that it's kind of engraving the line. And those lines, you have to make them in a certain shape. It has to be all the same level. It has to be handwriting. The sofer, the person that writes the mezuzah, he has to be holy. Some of them goes to the mikveh before. They're not allowed to touch the leather of the mezuzah without washing their hands, netilat yadayim. Before they start to write the mezuzah, they have to say, Areni kotev leshem kedushat mezuzah. I'm writing this mezuzah for the holiness of it. If he didn't say those words and he wrote the mezuzah is not kosher. That's what makes mezuzot very complicated, because you go and you buy a mezuzah somewhere and you don't know if it's really kosher, because those stuff, it's only the person that writes the mezuzah knows. Same thing, we have 10 times the name of God in every mezuzah. Every time the sofer, the person that writes the mezuzah, writes the name of God, before writing the name of God, he has to say, Hareni kotev l'shem kedushat Hashem. I'm writing for the holiness of the name of God. If he didn't say that before writing the name of God, the mezuzah is pasul. It's not kosher. Has no power. Mezuzah is very complicated. Every letter has to be at the exact shape. If the shape of the letter is not correct, the mezuzah is pasul, the mezuzah is not kosher, and you cannot go and fix it most of the times, because it has to be written in a certain order. Unless you erase all the things that are written before until you get to the problem, you fix the problem, then you write it again, which is very complicated, and usually you don't do it. That's why mezuzot has to be done very carefully and holy. The Zohar Kadosh say, the word mezuzot, how it's written in Torah, it's written Mem Zayin Zayin Vav Taf. Mem Zayin Zayin Vav Taf, mezuzot. The Zohar says, if you're going to take those letters of mezuzot and you're going to flip them, you're going to have two separate words. Zaz, Mavet. Zaz, it's move. Mavet is death. This is mean that the mezuzah moved the death. Chaz v'shalom, bad things that happen to people, bad energies, death. The mezuzah has a power to remove it from the house. Sickness. The mezuzah has a power to remove it from the house. According to the Zohar, all the sicknesses, all the problems, all the bad things that happens has a spiritual source. For example, if a person got a sickness, it's because there was an angel that was sent to bring the sickness to that person. How did the angel got inside the house? There's no protection. If there was a protection in the house, the angel would not have a way to get in and to come inside that person. The mezuzot keeps our house safe from those bad negative spirits, negative energies, negative angels. In the mezuzah, we have a very interesting name that is written on the front of the mezuzah. Shin, Daled, and Yud. Usually we put it in a way that we can even see it. Some people, they put a cover to the mezuzah that it's a clear cover, and you can see the Shin, Daled, and Yud, or one of those letters. Those letters, Rabotai, Shin, Daled, and Yud, this is one of the names of God. This is a name of God that removes all the bad spirits, all the bad energies. This name, Shin, Daled, and Yud, it's Rashi Tevot. Rashi Tevot, I don't know how to say it in English, but like it's every letter symbolizes a certain word. Abbreviation, yeah. Abbreviation, yeah. Rashi Tevot, it's easier to say. Abbreviation of Shin Daled Yud is going to be Shomer Daltot Israel, keeps the doors of Israel. So Hashem, God, is the one that keeps the door. By the way, there's a very famous story in the Gemara, in the Talmud, Masechet Gitin. It says there that there was a fellow, his name was Onkelos. Today he is very famous. He is famous because every person that takes a Chumash and he opens the Chumash, you're gonna see Chumash is the Torah, yeah? Those books that we read from on Shabbat, he's gonna see on the side an Aramaic translation of Torah. And it's written on the top, Onkelos. That man, 2,000 years ago, wrote an Aramaic translation that was one of the first translations to the Torah. And this person was not Jewish. He became Jewish. It's very interesting to see it in the Gemara there, how he became Jewish. He was doing Seancing. Seancing is Seance. Seance they call it. Seance means you have the certain way to talk to dead people. They put like a board, and so there's different ways to do it. So, by the way, it's working. Maybe we'll make a whole lecture about that also. It's very interesting, this topic. Also, I experienced that myself also once. It's very interesting. And even though it's not allowed according to Torah, it's not allowed to do it, but it's working. The Torah talks about that. The king Shaul did it. We see it in the book of Shmuel, how the king Shaul was calling Shmuel that passed away already, and he was asking him certain questions. So there's a way to do it, to speak to the dead people. So this Onkelos, he was a non-Jew, and he was doing it, and he was talking to all the, not the presidents, but the most popular people that were in life. He spoke to Nebuchadnezzar, which was the king of Babylon, the one that destroyed the first temple. He spoke to Jesus. He called Jesus and he spoke to him and he asked him questions, and all of them told him. That's what the Gemara says. All of them, those people that he spoke to them, they told him that he asked them, "What can you advise me as a person that is alive to do in life? Like, what's the mission?" He says, "If you wanna have a good life after life, you better become Jewish." That's what all of them told him. Like, practice Judaism. So then he understood, because he got the same answer from Jesus, he got the same answer from Nebuchadnezzar, and he got the same answer from all the other people. Tidabek ba'am Yehudi, you become a Jew, be close to the Jews. So he says, okay, I want to be Jewish, and he converted. He made a Brit Milah, he made the circumcision and everything. He was the nephew of Titus. Titus was the king, the Caesar, that like a time after that he destroyed the second temple. He was the Caesar of Rome, and he was his nephew. And when Titus heard that his nephew became Jewish, he got angry at him. Like, what do you mean? I'm destroying this nation, you become one of them. So he sent the soldiers to bring him back. So the soldiers came in and they started to talk to him. And he was convincing them that Judaism is right. And after a while, though this information got inside them, and they were coming to him again and again and again, and they became Jews also. When Titus heard about that, he said like, oh, what's happening here? So he sent another group of soldiers to bring him in, but he told them, I'm not allowing you to talk to him, because this guy is dangerous, And he came inside, they came inside to take him, and they took him out, and then they saw when he goes out, he kissed the mezuzah. He kissed the mezuzah, and they were laughing at him. Why you kiss the wall? Mm-hmm. So he said, it's not a wall, it's a mezuzah. So they said, what's a mezuzah? So then he started to explain them, and he gave him a parable, a mashal. He told him, tell me, you have a king. What's the right way? The king sits in his house, and the soldier all surround him and keep him inside? Or the soldier sits in the house and the king outside is protecting the soldiers? So they all told him, of course, the king is always going to be inside the house. And all the other soldiers are the other people, they protect him from outside. He's the king. So he told him, this is for you, with your king. But our king is the opposite. He meant Hashem. Hashem says, you're going to live inside the house, and I am Shin Daled Yud, my name is outside of the house at the door, protects you inside. This is the Jewish nation. Our God, our king, he protects us. Now we protect him. So they said, wow, this is interesting. And then they started to talk to him, and he convinced them that Judaism is right, and it also became Jews. So it's very interesting how the mezuzah has a power. Even when you talk about the mezuzah, you just talk about mezuzah. The halacha states that even if a person doesn't have a mezuzah somewhere, but he talks about the laws of mezuzah, about the power of mezuzah, about the reasons of mezuzah, just talking about mezuzah, this itself protects the place. That's why if a person takes the mezuzah and give it to check, and he need a protection because now he doesn't have a mezuzah, the right thing to do is study some of the mezuzah things. Go put a class on mezuzah, this class, in your house, and listen to it. This is going to protect your house. Just talking about mezuzah is protecting the house. Imagine how is the mezuzah itself, how it protects the house. So we have another story that brought down in Midrash Rabbah. This is another book, was written 2,000 years ago, about Rabbi Yehuda HaNasi. Rabbi Yehuda HaNasi was one of the great rabbis in the whole history. He was the one that wrote the Mishnah. And Rabbi Yehuda HaNasi had a lot of good friends all over the world. He was very rich, he was very known, and he had different kings that were his friends. They were talking, they were sending letters one to the other. And there was one king, his name was Artivon. This Artivon was a very wealthy king, and one time he felt he wants to give a present to Rabbi Yehuda, to the chief rabbi of Israel. So what did he do? He took one of his most expensive diamonds. He took it and he sent it to Rabbi Yehuda HaNasi. When Rabbi Yehuda HaNasi got it, he opened the envelope and he see a very, very expensive diamond. He was very impressed. He saw a letter from Artivon, this king. This is from my heart to you as a present, as an appreciation, how I appreciate you and I love you. Rabbi Yehuda HaNasi got the present, and then, you know how it goes. When someone gives you something, you have to give back, yeah? You go to a wedding, you give a check, and then when you have a wedding, you're waiting for the check back. That's how the world works, like? So that was the same there. He gave him money, he gave him a diamond, very expensive. So would be appreciated if you give me something also back, you know? We are friends. So Rabbi Yehuda HaNasi, he took a mezuzah, he put it in the envelope and he sent it to Artivon. He gets the thing, he's an Anju. He opens it, he see a paper. Rabbi Yehuda HaNasi writes a very nice letter. This is my present to you, I love you, you know, you gave me something, I'm giving you back. But he doesn't understand. He tried maybe, to flip it over, maybe there's something here that he doesn't understand. A paper with something written in it, and he doesn't understand even what's written in it. He understands it's Hebrew, but he doesn't know what it means. So he got a little bit mad, He wrote him a letter back and says, Rabbi Yehuda, thank you for the present, but I don't know what I'm going to do with this piece of paper. I gave you something very expensive. I don't think this is something that can be even, compared to it. So Rabbi Yehuda HaNasi writes him back and he says, you gave me a very expensive thing. But you know what? Now I have to put bodyguards in my house to protect the thing that you gave me. I have to put a safe. But I gave you something you don't need to protect. It's going to protect you. You gave me something that I need to protect it. I gave you something that's going to protect you. What's better than that? So then he explained him. He says, oh, thank you very much. And the Gemara continues. It's in Yerushalmi. It says that what happened is that his Artivon's daughter got very sick. How did she got sick? There was a spirit that got inside her. It's called in Hebrew dibuk. I don't remember the English name for that.
Yeah, dibuk.
Dibuk?
Same thing.
Same thing? No, there's another word. I just forgot it. Yeah. The book is when Chaz v'Shalom, a spirit of someone that passed away, got inside a person that is alive and mess his life. I saw one lady in Toronto that had it, and she passed away a year ago. Yeah, they even called me in to help her, but it was too late. And so this happens. Maybe we need to make a whole few lectures about this topic, like to understand why it's happened, to who it's happened, how it's happened. This is very interesting. Today is not very common as it used to be, and there's also a reason why, but it still happens. I just saw recently, a few months ago, it happened to a guy in Israel, and they took it out. One of the Kabbalists in Israel, they took it out from him, and they videoed it, all of it. Yeah, it was very hard to see because he was like crazy, and you see that there's talking from his mouth, and like very, yeah. Exorcist. Yeah. This is the person who. Right. Anyways, this is not a topic of today, but anyway, what's happened to this lady? A spirit got inside her, and she started to lose herself. To be sick and to say different things, and she became crazy. And then they tried different doctors, and then he remembers Rabbi Yehuda Hanasi said to him that I gave you something that's going to protect you. So he took the mezuzah, he put it on her, and she healed. And from here, the Ben Ish Chai say that if a person has this problem, Chaz v'Shalom, a spirit got inside him, you have to go to a sofer, to a person that writes a mezuzot, and you have to tell him, he has to understand how to do it right, but he has to write a certain mezuzah for him, with a certain intentions, and he put it on himself, and the spirit's going to go away. So, yeah. Yeah, but this is especially for that. Mezuzah you can use for other things also. Yeah, I don't know if I told you, but there's one of the holy books says that if a person has a court and he wants to win the court, he can take a mezuzah, but it should be mehudar. Mehudar means the highest quality of mezuzah, and he take it in his right hand, and you go to the court like that. All the judges are gonna love you. Don't tell the secret to others, yeah? Just for you. So, this is you do in case that you are the good guy, means in the court. You are the one that, not the other one. Okay? Anyhow, this is, you see the power of Mezuza is very powerful. There was another story with Arizal. Rabbeinu Arizal, 500 years ago in Tzfat. So they had a lot of those situations of spirits get inside people and they become crazy. So Arizal was taking them out. There's a way how to take the spirit out of the person. You have to take a shofar, you have to blow the shofar in his ear, and you have to have certain intentions, and then the spirit suffers inside and then starts to talk. And then you talk to the spirit. And then you ask them question. You ask, why did you get inside? Like, who gave you the permission? So Arizal was doing it, and one time he told his student, Rabbi Chaim Vital, now it's your turn. They heard that someone has it. They called the Arizal. He says, now I'm not going to do it. You're going to do it. You're my student. I taught you how to take it out. You're going to do it. So he sent him, and Rabbi Chaim Vital writes it all in his diary. I have it at home. He has a book, Sefer HaChezyanot. This is the diary of Rabbi Chaim Vital, and he writes all what the spirit told him. So he came inside, he took the shofar, he made all the intentions and all the things that you have to say in the ear of the person. And then the spirit started to talk from that lady. There was a lady. And then Rabbi Chaim Vital asked her, like, why did you get inside? Like, who gave you the permission to get inside? So she said, the spirit says that she was taking the bread out of the oven, and something happened. I think the bread fell on the floor, and she got very angry at that. She said, "Shilech la Satan," like this should go to the Satan. So because of that angriness, at that second, the spirit says, I got a permission to get inside her. Because, according to Kabbalah, one of the most, I even can say the biggest sin ever is to be angry. That's that's very, very bad. Those who study Kabbalah, they understand that angriness, this brings you the biggest impurity to yourself, more than every other sin. That's why it's very important to keep ourselves very away from those, especially people that want to be holy and want to study those stuff. They have to be extra, extra, extra calm and not angry people. Yeah.
I just have a quick question. I remember Dan was telling me about the Bugim, and he said that it's usually coming from people who are stuck in the kafakela. So is it
Right,
coming from
right.
the kafakela?
No, yeah, that's why I said we have to have a whole few lectures about dibukim, because not every spirit can become as a dibuk. It's only certain spirits that they were very like bad people in this world, and they don't have a place there, so they're looking for a place, but they don't have a permission to go inside a person unless he does something wrong. So this lady, she was very angry. So Rabbi Chaim Vital said to the spirit, okay, but this is not a reason, this is not a reason to go inside. She must have do other things also. So the spirit says that this lady on Pesach, she was sitting in the Leila Seder in the night of Pesach, and her father was saying all the miracles that happened in Egypt. The blood and the frogs and everything, and the opening of the sea. And she was laughing at it. And she was saying, this is all shtuyot, this is all not it's all baba maises, stories. It's not real. That's what she thought inside her head. So she didn't believe in all the history of our nation. And the most important night that we have to believe in it. This is our, base. And he says that she was pogemet by emunah. She ruined her faith, the base of the faith of the Jewish nation. And this is a big sin. And that's why they gave a permission to that spirit to get inside her. So that's what the spirit itself says. And then he asked her, okay, but how come you got inside? There is mezuzot in the house. And that's our topic. So then the spirit told him that you're right, there's mezuzot in the house. But this mezuzah at that door is not good. And because this mezuzah is not good, I could go in. So you see from here that even if there's one mezuzah, that the mezuzah is not correct, is not good, chaz v'shalom, something bad can happen at that house. Now, if all the mezuzah are good, nothing can happen in the house bad. Now, how do we know that? Because, as I told you before, Shin Dalet Yud, those three letters, the name of Hashem that is written on the mezuzah, is built from two parts. Shin Dalet, which is shed. Shed is, how do you say shed? No, shed is a bad spirit in Hebrew. Okay? Shedim, bad spirits. Demons. Demons. Shed is a demon. Yud is the first letter of God's name. This is this is the most holy letter, Yud. It's the smallest and the holiest. So when you have Shin Daled and Yud, this is Shin Daled, you take the name of Hashem, the most holy letter, into the Shin Daled to demon, and you basically, this name doesn't let the demon to come in, doesn't let the sickness to come in, doesn't let the bad energy to come in the house. But if this name is ruined, or something in the mezuzah is ruined, they can come in. That's why mezuzot, it's not just a mitzvah in the Torah that we have to fulfill like all the 613 mitzvot. This is a pikuach nefesh. This is something that this is our health. This is our life. That's why we have to be extra careful in this mitzvah. According to Zohar, this mitzvah is very, very, very important. Some people, they buy a house, $1 million house, $2 million, $5 million house. When it comes to the mezuzot, he says, no, one mezuzah is enough for me, Rabbi, I'm okay. He doesn't understand that the mezuzot is more important than your house. Why do I need the house for if I don't have a mezuzot? Now for Jews, it's important. Why? Because Jews has a lot of kedusha, a lot of holiness. As if you remember from last times that we spoke a lot about bad energies, good energies. Always the bad energies, the bad forces, they come where? where there's holiness. So we need more protection. That's why we need a mezuzah more than every other person in the world. If we're not going to have a mezuzah, oy vavoy, we are in a big danger. A Jew without a mezuzah, if you have a friend that doesn't have a mezuzah and you love him, you better buy him a mezuzah. You can take it from your 10%, it's maaser for 100%. You can make it from this amount, from the money that you give to tzedakah. It's the best tzedakah you can do in your life. Because you keep the life of this family. Something chas v'shalom can happen to that house, to this family, and you save them. So that's why we understood a little bit how important is mezuzah. Now I want to tell you some even more deeper things. When something happens, problems happens in life, in the house. So you go to the rabbi and you ask him, okay, rabbi, this and this happened to me, what I'm going to do, my son behaves like this, my wife, my dad, problems. So a lot of the rabbis will tell you, check your mezuzot. And some people doesn't understand, okay, what did the mezuzot do? Why to check the mezuzot? Why not something else? So the reason they say it is because everything happens to us, really it's not because of the mezuzot. It's because of us. We are wrong. We bring bad energy. But when you bring bad energy and you sin, it affects your mezuzah. If you have problems, your mezuzot also going to have problems. And that's how we know that there's a problem. And even rabbis, they understand in mezuzot, they can even tell you by the mezuzah what's the problem. When I check mezuzot, I tell the people when you take the mezuzah, you should put it in a plastic bag, and you should write the room that it's from. Because you can know things about the person that sleeps at that room from his mezuzah. I have a very big rabbi in Israel that I'm very connected to. He even came here once. And he looks at the mezuzah, I can tell you everything about you. Like something unbelievable. And I learned with him those things and some stuff. It's mamash, you can see the mezuzah, it's you. And the mezuzah is affected by you. You can buy a good mezuzah and the mezuzah can get ruined because you are not okay. And you can see it then. That's why we check the mezuzot all the time. Even though you checked it a few years ago, you have to check it again because some stuff can change. And I saw it in a lot of places. I'll tell you some stories. Rabbi Kanievsky, he lives today. And someone came to him. His son had a problem that he always eats, and he's never satisfied. Like, he's never feel that's enough. He always wants to eat and eat and eat. And he came to the rabbi, and the rabbi says, check your mezuzot. Okay, so he went to check the mezuzot, and the mezuzah in the room of the son. In the mezuzah we have the pasuk, we have the sentence that says, "Ve'achalta ve'savata." You ate, and you became satisfied. So in his mezuzah there was the sofer that wrote the mezuzah. He wrote "Ve'achalta ve'achalta," and you ate, without savata, without being satisfied. The rabbi says, "Go check the mezuzot," and the mezuzah of the son was like this. Now, when I heard that story, of course I was impressed like you. And a lot of people give me to check their mezuzot also. So one time there was a lady, she called me, she says, Rabbi, I need to check the mezuzot. I says, fine, I have a little bit of time, you can bring it to me. So I told him, but write on every room, so you bring it back to the same room. She gave me the mezuzot. I saw the mezuzah, one room, I saw the mezuzah, there was written there, one of the sentences in the Mezuzah is B'shochbecha uvkumecha. Yeah, that you have to say the Shema when you go to sleep and when you wake up. So in his Mezuzah, it says B'shochbecha u'b'shochbecha. When you sleep and when you sleep. Instead of saying waking up or sleep. So I called her, I told her, listen, this kid in this room, is it right that he doesn't want to wake up in the morning? She says, how do you know? I says, it's written in the Mezuzah. She says, this kid, you wake him 10 times, he doesn't want to wake up. It's like every day it's a war with this kid. So I told him, you have to change the Mezuzah, it's Pasur. And this is why it's written. You sleep and you sleep. He wants to sleep. Poor guy. They changed the Mezuzah, wakes up. Was mamash, it's here in Toronto, it's happened. They changed it, they bought a good mezuzah, they changed the mezuzah, they didn't tell him nothing. It was easier for him to wake up in the morning. So you see, those stuff are really affecting us.
So the person that did write it made a mistake.
Yeah.
That's terrible.
It happens, it's very hard to write a mezuzah. We just spoke about that before you came. Yeah.
So the people who made a mistake, like, they're getting a lot of schut for writing this job. It's like they're getting a lot of reward
Okay.
for that, right? So the people who made a mistake, is something happening to them? They're getting affected because they are affecting other people, thousands of
Right,
people.
that's why, in the Torah it says that the most important, we are dependent on a lot of people. When you eat a chicken, if the chicken is kosher or not kosher, you don't know. It's those people that slaughter the chicken, and the knife, if it was sharp enough and it was glut enough and it was everything according to the rules, and the lungs that they check and the brain that they check, and there's a lot of things that you have to check. And you don't know, you just eat the chicken, it's tasty. Aval, they have to be Yerei Shamayim, they have to have a fear of God, those people. And of course, if they don't do their job, it's affects them negatively. They do a sin, a big one, because they make other people, chas v'shalom, suffer. But the Torah says that those shochatim, those who slaughter, it's, if he made a mistake, so one guy ate a non-kosher chicken, that's very bad. But it's only one guy or two people. When a person that writes a mezuzah make a mistake, you put all the family, that house, in danger. That's why he says, "Im Adam machsir ot o matir ot, harei achriv et kol ha'olam." The Gemara says, if the guy that writes the mezuzah, one letter he didn't write, or one letter he add extra, it's like he destroyed the world. It's a very tough job. When I learned that, to be a sofer, was 10 years ago. I was sitting with the rabbi, and he was telling me, if I could suggest you to not be a sofer, I would tell you that. It's a big responsibility, man. He was carrying me. He was telling, it's a big responsibility. You know what you do? That's why I don't write a lot. I don't like to write. That's my hobby, but I don't do it a lot. Why? It's a big responsibility. So that's why you see that's, as a suggestion, if you want to buy a mezuzah, a tefillin, buy from someone you trust. Never ever in your life go to a Judaica store and buy a mezuzah. Never. If you're a mezuzah from Judaica store, trust me, check them, urgent, and get ones that are from someone you trust. Why? Because, as I told you, if the sofer that wrote the mezuzah, before he wrote the mezuzah, he didn't say, Areni kotev l'shem kedushat mezuzah, I'm writing for the holiness of the mezuzah. If he didn't say those words, all the mezuzah is pasur. It's not kosher. If before he writes the name of Hashem, he didn't say, Areni kotev l'shem kedushat Hashem, I'm writing for the holiness of God's name, the mezuzah is pasur. And you don't know those stuff. The person has to be Yerei Shamayim, a God-fearing person.
So if he has no mistakes in the writing, But
You-
how do we know he said?
You know what? I want to tell you something with my experience. That's an excellent question. Hashem is big. And you know, that's what I think he does. I see it sometimes. When you check a mezuzah, when someone didn't do the mezuzah properly, let's say he didn't say those words before, Hashem will make him make a mistake. He will make him make a certain small mistake, or even not a big mistake, but a small one that makes the mezuzah less, in the quality. So the person that's going to check it, he can find it. So don't worry. Even you have to do your best. What's your best? I'm going to buy my mezuzot from the best place I know. I'm going to go to someone that I trust. I would appreciate to ask the questions after shiur, because I have tons of information. I know that I'm going to speak only about maybe a quarter of it, but let's do the quarter at least, After that, we're going to have time for the questions, B'ezrat Hashem. So, there was a big effect of the mezuzah on our dreams. Some people, they dream a lot, and they dream nightmares, chas v'shalom, things that are very scary. A lot of time we will tell them first thing is to check the mezuzot at the house, not just at the room, in the house at all. Some people are more sensitive. Some people, the bad spirits are more attached to them than others. They will have more dreams. It's a good sign. It means they are more holy. They have a big potential, but they need more protection. That's why first thing you do when you see that there's a lot of nightmares and stuff like that, you check the mezuzah. There was a story about the Rabbi Milubavitch that one time one of the rabbis in other places in the world sent him a letter and told him, Rabbi, my wife has nightmares all the time. What we should do? So the rabbi told him, you should check your mezuzot. So they checked the mezuzot and everything, and a good sofer, everything, and she still have nightmares. So he sent a letter to the Rabbi Milubavitch. So the Rabbi answered him, you should check it again. And then he thought, why would the Rabbi tell me to check it again? So then he says, but there was one mezuzah I didn't check because it was new. So I thought, I don't need to check it. It was new. And then he took this mezuzah and checked that, and this mezuzah had a problem. They changed that mezuzah, and the nightmare stopped. So you see, the Rabbi felt that. You see that the mezuzah has a connection, especially at night when we need more protection. The mezuzah is very, very important. The mezuzah even can help you when you go away of the house. The Zohar say that it's a good custom before you leave the house to kiss the mezuzah. Even though it's not an obligation, In Israel, I know a lot of people, they always kiss mezuzot, Sometimes, I remember when I just came from Israel to here, I was so used to kiss mezuzot, and here there's no mezuzot everywhere because there's non-Jews here. So I used to kiss the doors, And people didn't understand me why I go everywhere and I kiss doors everywhere. But it's like a habit that it becomes a part of you, because in Israel everywhere there's mezuzot, so you always kiss. But here, okay. Anyways, sometimes we see people that always kiss mezuzot. To kiss the mezuzah, it's a good thing. It's not an obligation. The obligation is to see the mezuzah. The Torah says, "Ureitem oto," you should see them. By seeing the mezuzah, you remember that Hashem exists, that Hashem is protecting us, that Hashem is with us. This, remembering that, give you a lot of holiness and blessing to your house. Just remembering Hashem all the time in every door that you are, this is one of the reasons that we need mezuzah, to remember Hashem every second. So what we do, we kiss the mezuzah. So first of all, you don't have to kiss mezuzah everywhere you see. It's not an obligation. The obligation is to have the mezuzah, to look at the mezuzah. But to kiss it, it's good. It's an extra thing that it's very, very nice. It shows that you like the mitzvah and you really, really appreciate it. Now, when you go out from your house in the morning, it's a good custom, as the Zohar says, to put your hand on the mezuzah, and especially your middle finger. The middle finger has a certain specialty. When you kiss the mezuzah, by the way, you should kiss the middle finger. Yeah? If you want to do it the right way, this is the finger that has a certain connection to the mezuzah. We have to kiss this one. And then, if you go out of the house in the morning, the custom is to put your hand on mezuzah and say, Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Some people even add Shir LaMa'alot, the Tehillim 120. 121, נכון. קוף כף א', 121. שיר למעלות אשא עיניי להרים. It's very short, but before you go to business, life, other things, if you kiss the mezuzah, especially in a day that you need more success, before you go out, say Shema Yisrael and Shir LaMa'alot, you will see the Zohar says that 4 angels, Raphael, Michael, Uriel, I forgot. Gabriel, yeah. They all go with you and they protect you the whole day. If you do that. If you say Shema Yisrael and Shir LaMa'alot before you leave the house. I know some people, they even put a sticker beside the mezuzah, so they say it all the time. It's really gives success, it's really gives blessing. You see, the mezuzah cannot just help you in the house. It can keep you outside of the house as well. There's a lot of people ask me, Rabbi, how can I, give me something I want to have a bigger house. So give me a sgula, give me a way to that Hashem will listen to my prayers. I just spoke to someone yesterday. No, today actually. Today or yesterday. I was in the mikveh and someone there told me he is my neighbor. So he says, hey neighbor. I says, hi, shalom, how you doing? He says, yeah, everything is good. I'm looking for a new house. I said, why? He says, no, our houses are small. Now, our house is not really small. but for him, he has a lot of kids. So now he wants something, for him 4 bedrooms, it's not enough, you need more. So I said to him, there's a way to get a bigger house. Listen to this one. So he told him what? He told me what? So I told him there's a midrash. Midrash is like Talmud that say that Hashem says, Mi yakdimani v'ashalem. Who is a person that will do before me and I'll pay him? What's that mean? So it has 2 meanings, there's 2 interpretations. One says, a lot of people, they ask Hashem, please, I made a mitzvah today, I put tefillin on my hand, so please give me wealth because of this mitzvah. So Hashem tells him, listen, I already paid you for that mitzvah. So what do you mean you paid me for that mitzvah? He says, I gave you a hand. I paid you for before. People says, Hashem, I put mezuzot, please give me 1, 2, 3, 4. Hashem says, listen, I already paid you, I'm sorry, I gave you a house. It's like prepaid already. So, Bemet, this point is very important. Why? Because this is tell us that we can't really ask Hashem because of something we did. This is not the right approach. And listen to that. Those people, we all pray, and we have to know the right way to pray. When you want to ask something from Hashem, never ever use this system. Hashem, I just did this mitzvah, so with the merit of this mitzvah, give me this. Never do it. You know why? Because Hashem says, I already paid you. You say, Hashem, I just did a brit milah, I just did a circumcision to my son. He says, I gave you a son already. I paid you. So never ask like this. So how do we ask from Hashem? Hashem, give me for free. That's the only way. If you want to get something, ask Hashem, give me for free. Why? Because you're a good father. A good father gives for free. We can't tell him, give me because I deserve. We don't deserve. He gave us so much good, we never deserve. He paid us already 1,000 times more than we deserve. There's no point of asking Hashem because we deserve. So the only way to pray, and that's the best way, Ten li matnat chinam, give me as a present. And you will see your prayer is going to be a lot more powerful. Because when we ask like that, that's the right approach to Hashem. But this is one interpretation. The other one, mi yakdimani v'ashalem. Who's gonna come before me and I'll pay him? What's that mean? Hashem says, if you are paying Hashem before, He has to give you. What's that mean? So do the opposite. You want to have a big house, so buy mezuzot. Come with the mezuzot and say, Hashem, I just got 20 mezuzot. I need to put them somewhere. Oh, you have 20 mehudar mezuzot, very quality mezuzot. Now I need a house. He will give you a house. And that's what I said to a lot of people. They want to buy. You want to buy a big house? No problem. Give Hashem a good reason why you need this house. Hashem, bring guests to your house. But bring guests that it's going to be, full. And then after they go away, you stand in front of the book, in front of the candles, and you say, Ribono shel Olam, Hashem, you saw it was very tense in my house. There was no room. I want to bring even more guests. Please give me a bigger house.
For free.
For free, of course for free. Not because I deserve. I want to do more mitzvot. I just want to bring more people. Same thing. Buy the best quality mezuzot. Don't buy a house and then buy the mezuzot and says I wanted the cheapest one and here no and here no. Chas v'shalom. You buy the mezuzot first. You get the best of the best and you say now I need a house. Same thing, by the way, a lady that wants to get married. One of the things they should do, that we recommend to do, you buy a talit. You know the tzitzit that the husband puts? So you buy a talit, and you say to Hashem, Hashem, you see, I got a talit already. I got a glass.
To break the glass.
The glass that you break. I got the glass, I got the talit. I need a husband who's going to use the talit. So Atam Magdim et Hashem. You already, you got the mitzvah before Hashem gave you the item. So mi yakdimani v'ashalem, who is doing it before me? I have to pay him. The one that does it before me, I have to pay him. So that's what we say to a person, even to a man that wants to get married fast, go buy a glass. Or more than that, if a lady is serious and you want to get married, go to the store, to the, where they sell the dress, and buy a dress already. Why? Because you show Hashem, Hashem, I trust you. I got the dress. I got the talit. I got the glass. I just need the husband. For you, it's not a problem. And pray like this. Do an action like that. This works. So same thing is about the mezuzah. Get good mezuzot. Hashem will give you a good house. There's when you look at the house and it says, beautiful house. According to Kabbalah, beautiful house is a house that has the best mezuzot. That's a beautiful house. You can have the best house, the biggest house, but the mezuzot are cheap and not made the right way. It's an ugly house. Because the inside, the spirit is more important than the outside. I want to tell you something very, very important about mezuzah. This is from the teachings of Rabbi Nachman from Breslov. I like him. You realize that, huh? Rabbi Nachman says like this. He says, what's written in the mezuzah? Shin Daled Yud, Shaddai. It's the name of Hashem. The Gemara says, Shaddai she'amar le'olamo dai. She'amar dai. Dai is stop. Enough. What's that mean? He says, there's a power in ourselves that's called die. Enough. What's that power? This power means I'm okay with what I have. I'm happy with everything that I have. It's enough for me, whatever is now. Thank you, Hashem. It's enough. I'm happy. It's enough. So Rabbi Nachman says, the mezuzah is shedai. The mezuzah, when the mezuzah is good, it brings you that atmosphere, that power of feeling that it's enough. What's our problem in life? We're not happy. Why we're not happy? Because we're never satisfied. It's never enough. I have a friend that is a billionaire. The guys love money more than me, more than everyone else. Like I thought, you have billions. You rest in peace. No, I have to buy this, I have to do that. After that meeting, I said, Ribono Shalom, thank you very much that you didn't make me a billionaire. I don't want to be a billionaire. Because Chachamim say, Yesh lo maneh rotze 200. You have 100, so you want 200. Yesh lo 200 rotze 400. When you have 200, you want 400. So a person that has only 100, he only wants another 100. But the one that has a 3 billion, poor guy. Yesh lo yoter chisaron. He has more. He's more empty than me. So that's why we all want to be happy. Masechet Avot, the Mishnah says, "Ezehu hasameach." Who is a happy person? Ezehu ashir. Who is a wealthy person? So we would say, who is a wealthy person? A guy that has a few billions in his bank account. So no, the Mishnah says it's not right. Who is a wealthy person? The one that is enough for him, whatever he has. We can call him wealthy. That's the real wealthy. So how do we get to the level that we feel satisfied? I have only $5 in the bank account and I'm happy. Is it possible? I know people that has minus $40,000 in their bank account and they're happy. It's also possible. Why? Because there's a power in ourselves that says, Ribono Shalom, if you decided that that's what I need, and you want the best for me. If this is what I need for my mission, for whatever, I'm happy with it. Thank you for minus 40,000. This is what you want. This is what's good for me. So thank you. I know it's a very high level, but this means you are satisfied. What's going to help us being satisfied? Rabbi Nachman says, Shaddai, Sha'amar le'olamo dai. You want die, you want to be enough? Your mezuzot is going to affect you. If a house with the bad mezuzot, you're going to come in and you're going to worry all the time, I need more, no, it's not enough and it's not enough. But a house that has good mezuzot, good energy, you're going to come home and you're going to say, Shtabach Shem Olad, I'm happy. Why do I need more? I have my Subaru. I like the Subaru. Everything is good. I don't need a Lexus. I don't need that. No, I don't need it. So this feeling comes. Has the mezuzah affect that feeling. Sometimes it's not you. It's your wife. For her, nothing is enough. So check the mezuzot, man. Check the mezuzot. This is gonna help. That's what Rabbi Nachman says. Ve'mezuzah mevatel ta'avat mamon. You understand what he says? The mezuzah cancel the desire to money. It helps you. You come home. One of the reasons we need mezuzah, because money, it doesn't make us good people. You realize that, right? The more money you have, not a better person you are. Check this out. You have more pride. You're not gonna talk to everyone, right? When someone doesn't have a lot of money, so everybody's his friend, when you have a lot of money, no, listen, I don't have time for you, man. I'm very busy. Ay. So what? Is it good or is it not good? Hard to say because we love it. Aval, באמת, תאוות ממון. It's not good. It's not good to have desire to money. If for you money it's something, by the way, I know it's very strict to say that, but Hashem says, if you love money, you don't love me. It's either you love money, either you love me. It's one of the two. You can't love both together. It's very deep, this. I have to explain it. I can prove it. But it's not the time right now. There's only one God. Hashem or the money. If you think money can solve every problem, you don't believe in Hashem. If you believe that Hashem can solve every problem, so what's the point of having money? Hashem can solve everything. So, if you want to reduce your desire to money, which is good, the desire to money doesn't make us better people, makes us worry because we want more and it's not enough. The mezuzot is going to affect that. If you see someone that really, really likes money, tell them, check your mezuzot. Check your mezuzot. Make sure they're okay. See if you have mezuzot in everywhere. Another thing, we already we have to finish, but one of the things that are really affecting our marriage is mezuzot. Our health is mezuzot. And again, the mezuzot affect the marriage because we do wrong things and we affect the mezuzot. When we check the mezuzah and we change the mezuzah, this good energy can affect the house back. That's why you see a lot of people that they do check their mezuzah, they do change their mezuzah, and their marriage became better. I know myself, some people, a few years ago, they used to call me to check the mezuzot in my community. So I never had time to come to the house to check the mezuzot. I was always telling them, leave it in my mailbox and I'll take it, I'll do it, and then you pick it up. But it was one guy that told me, Rabbi, I don't know how to take it out, and this and there. Please come to my house, please. So I said, you know what? I want him to check his mezuzot. So I said, fine, I'll come to your house. So I had one day, I had a free night. I came to your house and I took the mezuzot. And the reason he told me is because he always fights with his wife. Always fights, every day. When I took the mezuzot, 2 of the mezuzot were upside down. So now I said, it's good that I came because I saw that it's upside down. He would not realize that. And we checked, there was some problems. We checked it, we did. I put it in. A week after, he gives me a call. He says, I don't know what you did, but something here changed. Like, he said, something changed. I said, listen, you had 2 upside down mezuzot. You know what that means? This is not good. I'm not saying that they are, the best couple in the world now. But the energy changed in the house. So you see that, Baruch Hashem, in the Jewish life, one of the most important elements is our mezuzah. The way the mezuzah stands, what's inside the mezuzah. Today you have to be careful. There's a lot of mezuzot that are not kosher. I don't want to say most, but half of the mezuzot that we have here in Toronto are not good. I would say most, but I don't want to say most. And I'll tell you why. Because those people that sell the mezuzot, it's people that want to make money. They have a Judaica store, they are selling, and they need money, and they buy the cheapest they can, and they sell it in the market, right? So they sell you something that is very cheap.
So Israel is the same?
I'm not saying where, how. I'm just telling you. I'm just telling you, it's better if you can get it from someone you know, get it from someone that writes it himself or knows who writes it. So therefore, you know you'll get the best mezuzah. That's one. Second, I know from my experience, a lot of people brought mezuzot to me. Those mezuzot was written by Arabs. There is a group of Arabs in Israel that they write mezuzot. Why? This is a good business. And they sell it to big stores, people, tourists sometimes, you know. You don't know, and you buy the mezuzah, and you put it in your house, and you have problems in your house, and you don't understand. So this is another thing. I'll tell you another thing that I saw here in our city. So many mezuzot are even not a mezuzot. It's a paper that is printed.
Yeah.
You know, they take a paper, they print it. It costs $50, and they sell it for $50, $60. So, and this is not a mezuzah even. You don't have a mezuzah. That's why it's very important, first of all, to check. First of all, to know where you buy it. Now, after we learned a little bit of what the Zohar says about the mezuzah, how important it for ourselves, how much it keeps the house from bad spirits, from chas v'shalom, bad things, and we, Bezat Hashem, now it's the month of Elul. Make sure that we get inside this month clean and protected with a lot of energy, a lot of blessing. We know that kissing the mezuzah and every blessing, if you want to ask something from Hashem, we don't have a Torah in our house, but we have a small Torah. It's the mezuzah. You come to the mezuzah and you pray to Hashem beside the mezuzah. The mezuzah has a lot of holiness, a lot of protection, and especially when we go to the business, as I said, to kiss the mezuzah, say Shema Yisrael, Shir LaMa'alot, 121, Psalm of Tehillim, and those things can protect us. People that, if you want to buy your friend the present, something that is really, is really going to help him in life, more than, a set of plates and cups or something like that, you can buy him a good mezuzah and tell him to put the mezuzah in the right way, in the right place. The rooms in the house, every room that has a door, and even if it doesn't have a door, but it's a room of it's a room that has more than 2 quarter meters, like 2 by 2, yeah, or 3 by 1. If it has 4 meters in general, this room is already need a mezuzah. A laundry room needs a mezuzah. Even a place, even a room that even a closet that is big, has more than like 2 meters by 2 meters, or 3 by 1, or more than that, needs a mezuzah. But some places needs a mezuzah with a blessing, some of them needs a mezuzah without a blessing. So for that, you should ask your rabbi where to do the blessing, how to do the blessing. And please, when you buy the mezuzot, ask them, please tell me that the mezuzah is mehudar. Mehudar means the highest quality. Because mezuzah, it's not very expensive. It's maybe $70, a good one, a mehudar one. But for those $70 that you keep it in your house, you have so much blessing, so much protection. And you are safe from all those things that can happen. And more than that, you have a small Sefer Torah in your house that is really, really good, that you can come and kiss and bless and ask from Hashem and pray in the house. And it's going to be, B'ezrat Hashem, a lot more powerful to do it beside the mezuzah, with the good mezuzah. I want to bless all of you, B'ezrat Hashem. Well, before Rosh Hashanah, we should have a Shana Tova, Mevorechet, and B'ezrat Hashem, Kadosh Baruch Hu should give us, when we buy mezuzot, only good mezuzot should come to us.